So with this kit, there's lots of little pieces. The other really cool thing that they got is they have these little rubber gaskets for pretty much any mounting surface, prevent shaking and, you know, dampen it just a little bit. So you want to take these, go ahead and pop out each individual little piece right there and right there. And that piece can go over there. That one's trash. And then we've got all the pieces that we need. So I already went ahead and did this, but first thing, you take this plate, it comes in the kit, and you mount it here to this pipe. There are 3 Allen head screws, and they provide the Allen head if you don't have it. So there are those. That is where the mass airflow sensor bolts into, but this is the piece that's going to actually bolt into the carbon. The air intake goes on like this, like that, and then you see the holes right there. Those bolt into the carbon fiber piece itself. So that'll be my next step. Let's go ahead and get that part done. One thing you want to remember here is orientation. So it is going to be sitting inside the vehicle like this pretty much. And you want to make sure that you have the mass airflow sensor pointing in the correct direction. So there it is. You want to get it bolted up like that. Then you take your 4 Allen head bolts, and you go ahead and put them in. So let's go ahead and start on doing that. With carbon fiber, you got to be very, very careful not to scratch it. Now it is very, very strong, but the outside epoxy or clear coat or whatever it is, you know, it can still get scratched. So just make sure to be very cautious, not touch it up against anything hard. And if you do, make sure to put a towel or rag down. We'll go ahead and get these things tightened down. Doing stuff like this where it's nut certs riveted into carbon fiber, always use hand tools. Never use a gun, an impact, or anything like that. Even if it's a low torque one, it could still jolt it, knock that rib nut out of place. So use hand tools. Make sure they're nice and snug. If you do it this way, you won't have any issues stripping or cross-threading or anything like that. All right, so there it is. It's all tightened down into the actual piece itself. Now it's time to start working on the mounting. As you see, there's a tab right here on the bottom. There's another one right there on the top. And those where they're going to sit into. They have provided brackets to where these are going to sit into. Right here. This one bolts into the bracket spot where you had to take off before. And that basically will bolt in. There's a rubber grommet, and then it'll sit right here and hold it into place. And the rubber grommet will dampen all of the vibrations from the engine and everything else. So we're going to go ahead and move this to the side and start working on the mounting pieces. We'll see you there. So we're going to go ahead and start with this bracket here. Show you, grab a flashlight and show you exactly where it goes. All right. So it's going to go down here on the passenger side. Here's where the stock airbox is. There's one bolt that holds this bracket up, and then there's one bolt hole right there. It is going to be bolting into both of those, so you undo that bolt right there, then lift it up, you put the bracket underneath it, and then you bolt both of them back into place together. Put the other bolt right there, and then it'll basically sit just like this. So it'll sit underneath that bolt on that side. It'll bolt in right there, and it goes right there. You'll put your rubber grommet inside of this little hole, and then that is the bottom mounting port for the kit. Once you get your mounting brackets in and you have it laid out where you need to, the next mounting tabs are right here. So they have 2 of these pieces that come in the kit. You gotta remove the bolt that holds the radiator into place on both sides, and you pull it back, and with your fingers you hold the bolt underneath here, and then you spin this onto it. This is threaded, so do that on both sides. Here is the finished product. So we got the COBB. Obviously I got to clean it up, still got my hand prints and fingerprints on it, but we got the COBB carbon fiber cold air intake system. It is a beautiful piece. There's the top mounting, bottom mount bracket is down there. Those were the 2 pieces here on the front that I was talking about. Mass airflow sensor just sticks in there just like stock. Got the tube. And if you got the stock piece, it'll work as well. So that is it. Not too bad, very easy install. Just have to be very careful working with this nice carbon fiber.